All right, guys. Hello. So, okay, there we go. Because these are my new glasses. Um, all right. So I wanted to come on here and record my Monday live. Um, and this is still during COVID, still me having COVID. So I'm I have my energy back, but not really. So I just wanted to do a recording. And welcome, guys. Welcome. So, I'm gonna have a special guest join in with us. He is a phenomenal human being. He is my best friend. He is a R&B singer, a rapper, a producer, like the whole nine. And he's not a producer yet, but we gonna claim it, okay? He has been with me for I think this year six. Yeah, 6 years. Um, and he is wonderful. Like he's a man of God. He is just wonderful. I love my boy best friend. He is everything. He keeps it real. He don't sugarcoat nothing. He tell me how it is, even if it hurt my feelings. And that's what I love about him. He know that when I call him for advice that um yeah, that he get me together basically. So I wanted him to come on because he is a book of knowledge. So I wanted to invite him to come in and share his side of things. So let's see if he's ready. Okay. And the topic is, how do we trust in God when we hit rock bottom? So let me call him. Did you click on the thing? Yeah, click on the link because I'm in it now and we're recording. Okay. Okay. Just let me know. All right. Okay. So he has to re-download the link. This is what I'm talking about, guys. My best friend, I be want to tear him to pieces sometimes. Okay. But let's see when he comes in. I'm so grateful, guys, that you are here with me. I miss everybody and I miss talking to you guys. I know I missed a couple of Mondays. Um, Emotionally and mentally, I wasn't there. And then I was really sick this past Monday, which was the 13th. So thank you guys for bearing with me. Thank you for your prayers and text messages and phone calls that I've gotten to see how I'm doing. I am doing great now. It just my energy, like, it comes and goes. So I'm still laying down, I'm still resting throughout the day and still going outside and getting some sun, still taking my vitamins, my medicine. um I'm thankful that it didn't take me out fully. Monday was the hardest day. I had body aches, chills. My fever was 102. But other than that, I didn't have a sore throat. I didn't lose my taste. I didn't lose my smell. If anything, my smell opened up way more than I expected. Okay. I went to get me a burger from Burger King, and like as soon as I open the wrap, like I can smell like the grill. And I'm just like, okay, I haven't I've never smelled nothing like that. So it was kind of cool and kind of weird. So um But other than that, guys, that's about it. I didn't have, like breathing problems. Well, I am breathing heavy now, but I just tend to watch a lot of stuff about myself. So remember, guys, that COVID is still out there. So we don't want to go around people, or if you're going around people or whatever, please wear a mask and please wash your hands. We are back to square one with this COVID thing. And unfortunately, it's not going nowhere. And this is our new norm. I wish we could go back to, us not wearing a mask in the daytime. I mean, not in the daytime, but just throughout life or whatever. But I got vaccinated earlier this year. So even if they say, oh, you're vaccinated, you have to wear a mask. I haven't worn a mask since I got vaccinated, and look, I caught COVID and I dodged it for 2 years. So even if you're vaccinated, please just stay safe. And we are waiting on AJ to come in. Like, what is going on? So, the topic is, how do we trust God when we hit rock bottom, right? I can do a few pointers because I have been there and I'm also there now. Um, what I've been doing is basically surrounding myself with my support group. Ah, there you go. So no video.
Hold on, we're getting there.
Hi,
What's up?
what's going on? Okay, everybody, this is my best friend, Ajalan Sings. Well, Williams,
Blah
but
blah.
Sings. Hi,
What's up? What's going on?
what's going on?
Mhm.
I'm so happy to see you. I act like I'm gonna be seeing you on FaceTime. All right, so give the people an introduction of yourself, what you do for a living, and then we're gonna jump right into the topic.
Hi, I'm God's child. No, my name is Ajlan. I do electrician work. I'm a singer, and I just do the things that I do.
Mhm.
Whatever that may mean.
I was gonna say no, because you do more than just.
I do too
Oh,
much.
yeah,
I do too much.
give the people, a little something, something.
No. No. No.
Oh my God. This is like, I'm not gonna do this with you. Like, this is the recording for people.
I
Like,
know, and that's why I want to jump straight into the topic. And the topic is
how do we trust God when we hit rock bottom?
because it's just God at the end of the day. Nah, but interesting topic to choose. And say that one more time. How do we trust God when we hit rock bottom, right?
Yes. How do we trust God when we hit rock bottom?
How do you trust God when you're at the top?
You know what?
It's the
I'm not,
same elements. It's the same
I'm
key
not doing
elements.
this with you
Essentially, it's the
today.
same thing. But that's the thing. That's what people fail to realize. It's the same way you praise and worship and trust Him in the beginning when everything looks bright and sunny, is when the shade comes as well.
That's
You're
true.
not supposed to. You gotta have like the thing is, it's got to be a balance in life, and sometimes you have to go through a era of shade where it
Mhm.
doesn't seem so bright and you don't know the direction because you can't physically see the direction that you're supposed to go in. You got to have some shades in order to like really open your eyes to new things, new perspectives, new ways to look at what the objective is. How do I get to this objective? And you got to have those dark days sometimes.
Okay, so do you feel like, okay, you said that it's the same elements for if we be up on top and everything going good
Mm-hmm.
for us. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like if we stay consistent with worshiping and praising God in our highs, that when the lows hit, that we know what to do instead of going into like a, oh my God, like I don't know what to do, whatever, like just like a panic mode.
yeah, I mean, it's just like playing sports. Like what you hear coaches say, finish how you started,
Right.
which is strong. So like if you started strong with faith that he'd get you there and then he got you there, finish it the same way. Like that's with everything. It's not just not with God. It's with what it's with everything that God put us through: relationships, friendships, situationships, family, friends, siblings. So like those that's why I say it's the same key elements that you use the same consistency because consistency controls everything.
Right.
And the more that you're consistent with how you praise and worship, how you treat your relationships, how you treat yourself, most importantly, is how you're going to treat God in the end of the day.
Right. So, okay. So for the people who like, I'm gonna say like just me, because like when I'm high
Mhm.
or when I'm on my high or whatever, like I
Right.
don't I don't really forget about God, but it's like sometimes like I'll be too tired to pray, or sometimes I'll be too tired to like read my Bible or worship or whatever. So like what would you give, like what advice would you give someone like myself? And then when the lows come, it's like I go in, you know me, because I go in full like panic mode. And
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
do. We always do.
so what
I
if
think I think what advice I can give on that, because I was one of those people that did that. I used to do that all the time. And sorry, I got a few people trying to give me a call. I don't know why I put it on do not disturb, they don't listen. But I be having those days, and I still have them sometimes. The days of being too tired to pray or not praying at all. But that's where we use the words intentional and being intent with things. Like, so in the morning, you thank God for another day, right?
Mhm.
You thank God throughout the day. Sometimes we have to, like, with the intent of saying, hey God, today might be one of those long days. If I don't pray today, blah 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 blah. You can say things like that in the initial beginning, because who knows what your day is going to hold. But
Right,
we do know God's going to help you get through the day.
right,
So like with the intent of just saying thank you God in the midst of the things that we do, the breaks that we have, equal to a full prayer a night. It's all about giving thanks, and what we wish for the things that we shouldn't be getting, which is grace. So
right. So, talking about grace, right? So everybody, well, I'm pretty sure, well, I hope everybody know that God give you grace each and every day. He refresh your grace and your mercy. So, you know, well, for me, like, I've been in church all my life. So until I got with my
yeah.
therapist, um I really didn't understand grace like that. Like I just heard like, okay, well, he give you new grace, new mercy each and every day. So I'm just like, well, God, thank you for new grace, new mercy. But I didn't know like the depths or like the definition of like, like grace. So
Mm-hmm.
once I understood how grace is and what grace do and how it works and stuff, like I don't think people understand how important that God grace is. Like just
Mm-hmm.
like okay, like prime example, like if I go out somewhere and I come back home or whatever, like that's grace. Like I'm like he kept me going out and coming back in.
Mm-hmm.
So like
It's something that we would love to extend but can't really truly offer, because we're so flawed as people. It's crazy, right? it's
yo,
certain things
it
it's certain
is.
things that it's certain things that we wish we could acquire from God that we will never be able to do because of how we are as people. And it's
Right.
because of what we grew up in and what we live in and what we see each and every day, and we feel accustomed to it, so we adjust, and next thing you know we forget.
That's true because oh my God, like I'll be wanting people to give me grace, and I worked on
Mm-hmm.
that before. Well, I'm still working on it, but I've gotten better. But
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know what grace was, like I never gave people grace. Like it was, well, not saying like never gave people grace, but it's like if you're like in a friendship or relationship or whatever, and you already passed like what they're going through, or whatever, it was just like, yeah, you got to figure it out like by yourself. Instead of me giving them grace and being like, okay, well, it takes time, it does this, it does that, or whatever. like I didn't do that. And that's because I didn't know about grace and I didn't understand grace.
Mhm.
So that was a good point that you hit, because a lot of people don't give people grace no more. And I think that's important, especially
Yeah.
like with times being hard now.
Yeah.
So
And that also stems with, like I said, it's a culture thing. And it's like everything that we do in life is like a business. Business is on your way to work, you get a grace period,
right.
right? Like a 10-15 minute grace period. And we don't really recognize how good that grace period is. Like God
Wait,
gives us
pause.
some.
Hold on,
Okay.
pause. Oh my God. Pop locked this stuff out. Hold on. All right, we back. Sorry. My stepfather locked his stuff out the door. All
Yeah.
right, go ahead.
Well, like I was saying, I look at a lot of things as business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being a business owner myself, we have a lot of periods where we have to take grace for ourselves, which is those little breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you look at an actual business that you work for, they give you a grace period in the morning when you come in, and they give you a little grace period to clock out. We don't realize that little window of time in 10-15 minutes are really vital. And we don't really know that time really don't exist in the eyes of God, truly.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you like, and that's one thing that we always try to do. We try to figure out God. And you can't.
Always.
It's like you're trying to defy things that you can't define. It's okay. There are things that are set up in the world for you to know. There are things for you set up in the world for you not to know. And there's some things for you to know that you don't know nothing about.
Right.
So like grace is one of those things, one of those occurrences as people that we don't even really think about anymore.
We don't. We really don't.
Not in this day and age. And you're right. Like you were saying earlier about, especially in these days and times of how things are presenting themselves to be. Like, yeah, we do need to be showing more grace, but I don't think people, like you said, people don't know the definition. People don't know the action behind it, what it truly means. So it's hard to do something when you haven't even created it for it to be a habit.
True. That's definitely true. Just to touch back on the topic about, you know, how do we trust God when we hit rock bottom?
Right.
Um, so we covered just a little bit, but I want to cover the fact that what if, we always say, oh, you can, pray about it or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
today is Sunday. Okay, so Friday night I cried and Saturday morning I cried. And then
Mm-hmm.
like in the afternoon, like I was on my next door neighbor porch or whatever, because we sit
Mm-hmm.
outside, and I
Mm-hmm.
cried also because I'm like not at rock bottom, but
Mm-hmm.
it's coming. Well, I'm not gonna even speak that, but it's somewhat there.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, God, well, you told me to walk off my job last year. Like you told me, like, just to trust in you or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
now that like I'm in like a better headspace, and it was because like I started praying again, I start reading my Bible again, and even
Mm-hmm.
with my support team, like you are support of my support team. So
Mm-hmm.
when I reach out to you guys and I'm telling you guys what's going on or whatever, like what if people like don't have a support team, and then whoever they call on, they be like, oh, you just got to pray about it. Like what if like I don't want to pray about it? Like
Well, me and my friend Double R, we were speaking about this the other day, and he was talking about it on a podcast,
mm,
and I started to realize something that he said, and I was like, I wanted to debate about it, but then I couldn't debate about it because it was like,
you debate about everything.
yeah, I do, but there's a reason for that though, because I don't think people know what they're trying to really argue. So like, and I'm not really not argue, but I don't take argument that way, but debate. They are trying to debate about. They don't really understand both sides. And
Yeah.
so what Double R and I were talking about was prayer don't change everything, and I'm don't take it in that sense, because what I'm saying is it doesn't change everything only because you know what you're praying about. It's the after action of the prayer, because
Mhm.
you have to understand, and we don't understand as people that God's already going to give us what we need,
Mhm.
but He also said you have to work too. Like it's not just me. If I just told God, hey God, let me go ahead and get this meal right now, Shing! Next $1 million just popped in my hand. Like, that's it, we good. But we don't realize that, if we did, the thing is, and I talked to you about this the other day. It's about the lesson that has to be learned.
Right.
So what you praying for, you pray for it, then you move towards it, and then you learn that lesson. That's when it starts to flow in an abundance. Like once because it's all about the lessons. You remember, if I told you, if you don't learn a lesson, then that thing is just going to keep cycling until you get it all the time. So like people have to learn how to be more resilient when it comes to the adversities of things, even the good parts of things. Like you have to learn the lesson within. But that also goes into trusting God right there. Like trusting in those little things. Those little things matter.
That's true, because I used to be in a cycle, and I used to hate it. And I'm just like, well, God, like what am I doing like wrong? Like I'm not understanding. Like it seemed like every 3 or 4 months, like this same thing, like keep coming around. Like I'm not understanding. And it wasn't until I started therapy and I started to actually like learn about myself and actually change those things about myself that the cycle had finally stopped. And even in some other things like I didn't like about myself, I changed it. But not only that, like I kind of, well, I don't know how to say it. Like I kind of like look at life like a different way now. And it wasn't how when my mom was living, like it was just a one-way street with me. Like you know how I was. Like everything was my way, or it wasn't nothing.
Right.
But now, unfortunately, that she had to pass, like it was just like, okay, like I didn't like got popped like out of a bubble. So I mean, it's a lot that go into it.
Yeah. And honestly, I was just thinking about it as you were thinking about your mom passed. I was thinking about my brother too. And I was like thinking about how I used to be and the change after. Like it was a not just also a eye-opening moment about life, but it was always one of those things where like, all right, now you have to think about them as a memory and think about the things they said. Now you really have to look at yourself, because now that system of where you would actually go to, that actual source of where you would go to, is no longer there. Now you have to be your own source, because now you're somebody else's source. So now it's like they pass this torch to you and you taking on all of this and you don't know how to. But that's why I said the lessons that's being learned in between. Like your mom passed, my brother passed. What was the lesson? Okay, what did they teach me? What do I remember? What did I actually pay attention to? Was thinking that they were joking about. It's those things, those little undermining things. I have to make a joke. I can't be so deep and not make a joke. But it's really those things, because God forbid we had a wrath of your mom's hand come down to show us.
Oh my God.
But no, like
AJ,
seriously,
please. Jesus.
But no, it's those things, it's those little undermining things, like all those lessons that we learned, we're able to walk in a new light. That's why when certain things really happen in our lives that are really drastic, it feels like we done popped out of a new bubble, because now you done been reborn, because now you have a new mind. Now you have to learn how to take these different steps, and you have to be the one to find out how to get to the next thing. You can't ask questions to your source anymore. So now that's why it says when you at your rock bottom, because I remember when that happened, like it tore you to pieces, just like it tore me to pieces.
Right.
And yeah, we prayed all the time, but what did we do after that? We had to keep ourselves up. We had to keep our health up. We had to eat. We had to think clearly, get through the day as much as possible, and keep turning with the circle of life, because life never stopped.
Right.
And that's the thing with us. We have to learn that, just like the good book say, even with the faith, the faith the size of a mustard seed, you put that in God and just watch how that grows. Like, of course, you would want to say you want to be fully fledged, faithful, and loyal to God, and making sure that your faith is like solidified. And it's hard because we're human. We're born into sin, and we we fall short of the glory. So it becomes difficult. It becomes one of those mind drenching times where you just lose all your energy and you don't know which way to go. You don't know who to call, and you have to know that God has your back all the time. Like, whether you can physically see him, which you can't, nobody has, but you have to, just like if you believe that you can breathe because you can't see air, you got to do the same thing when it comes to God, and that's just what it is. Like, we have to learn how to, even when we at our lowest, we don't got no money. God, I'm working, doing what I am, doing what I've been doing. I'm being diligent, and I'm loyal and humble and faithful to you. I know that you will provide, and I thank you for even giving me an inch or even a pinch of your grace. Yes, in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Like, you gotta just tell God, be intentional with God.
Yeah, you
Because when
you
you're
definitely gotta be truthful.
exactly, if you and know what you're saying,
I
know
don't
exactly what you're saying to God.
I don't think people understand that prayer is you're talking to God. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
it's just like how me and you are talking now. Now I'm not saying,
Mm-hmm.
don't go to God like, hey, my nigga did, like, that's no. What I'm saying is, like, just have like a simple conversation, like be honest with God. Like, I remember I
Mm-hmm.
was telling like one of my good friends, she was saying like she was angry with God, and I'm just like, tell him that, like, I like God already know that because he's God, but he want us to be truthful and faithful to him. And
Mm-hmm.
like the other day, like on Friday, when I was crying, I was coming back from KFC, like I cried and I was angry. I'm like, God, I'm angry because, like you just said, like faith without works is dead. So God, I'm doing the work, like I'm being faithful, like I'm promoting my business like as the best that I can. I'm only but one person. I have 3 Instagram pages to run. I have a Facebook. I
Mm-hmm.
have a Snapchat. I have a TikTok. So all those things, and I'm just like, and then I have to be a mom, and then I have to take care of my household. I have to grocery
Mm-hmm.
shop. I have to do laundry. I have to be a significant other, a sister, a brother, a best friend. Like all these things. I'm just like, well, God, I'm doing what you told me to do. I do my Monday lives, like the whole 9. So I'm just like, now that my finances are low, like, God, like what is going on? Like I'm doing the work, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
so when
But
this
sometimes it's not even all about God too. Sometimes it's us being misguided.
that's true too.
So like, when we look, sometimes when we think about our finances and we get to a good place, and I had to tell myself this at one point in time in my life too. Sometimes when we get those finances that we prayed for, we mess it up because we happy we got there to that goal. We probably thank God probably one, matter of fact, not even one, half of the second that we got it, and then went out and decided to splurge and then realized like, hey, this was something I was supposed to do this with.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I was going to do this, but I now overexerted my excitement and went back down to $1. God, you think you can do that one more time?
That's
You know?
definitely me right now. I'm like, God, I'm supposed to go do this. I'm supposed to go open up this. Like, God, like, please, like, I'm like, but the lesson in that is
Yeah,
the lesson in that
responsibility and
is
accountability.
exactly. But not only that, like I asked God, I'm like, God, teach me, like when you bless me again with that large amount of money again, God, humble me and teach me how to manage my money, and
Mm-hmm.
don't just be out here splurging or whatever, doing whatever I wanted to do, because
Right,
it was freedom
right. Like the book say, hey, lean not on thy own understanding.
in all your ways, acknowledge him.
Trying to tell you, trying to tell somebody. See, people think I don't know it, but I know it. Don't let me go deacon mode up in here. But I'm just trying to
Yes,
say.
Deacon AJ. Yes, come
I
on.
would,
Yes.
cause I can step in the pulpit and say a few things. Trust me, I've done
Oh,
it before.
listen. Well, everybody else, y'all don't know, but I know. Trust me. He done gave me his sermons many a times. Okay. So
No, I really enjoy. This was a great topic because faith, faith is such a easy thing, and the crazy part is, we make it so hard. It's so easy because we got faith that Chris Brown gonna make a new hot record. We got
yeah,
faith that B Simone gonna say something funny. Oh, we got faith that beautiful men and beautiful women gonna be out here in the world somewhere for us. We got faith in all them things, but we don't got faith in what created it. That don't make sense. But okay, I get it. I digress. I'm gonna turn the other cheek. But it's serious though. Like those are the things I be thinking about. We got so much faith in this stuff that only lasts for such a short time.
Yeah.
And not something that, and that's this, and this is the word I always told you I use. I'm always thinking about longevity. So instead of thinking about what we can have faith in, that's forever. We're thinking about something that we just have for a split moment to share amongst people, and then after we gone, somebody else got it. Hello. Yeah. So like, it's easy to get lost when you really don't know what's real, and you won't experience real until you allow it for yourself. And just like how you were saying earlier, you got to be honest and honest with God. Yes. The thing is about being honest with God is you got to learn how to be honest with yourself in order to be able to speak honestly to God. And like, that's why I loved what you said earlier when you was talking about how, mom passed and you changed, but before that you were able to check things and reevaluate and then re-exude everything into the world. Like you got something new. You walk a different way, talk a different way. You got a new path and a new journey that you have. Now you got to be on this journey. Because when you open up yourself and you're able to get to know yourself, and you get to know and be a little bit closer to God, because now you're about to unlock a little bit more about you that you didn't even know. Now you're finna unleash a certain power to not only yourself but the people that's around you, that's going to elevate them. It's these things that we don't understand, that faith opens up and allows us to be the true us that we love to get to, that we think that we're getting at, that we only get to see a little bit of at like split moments, but then it gets taken because it's like, I don't think you're ready for yourself.
Right.
So I think faith has its own multitude of definitions that define us and define who we are and what we are when it comes to God.
That's true. My mom used to always say this quote. She used to say, "You got it in you. You just need to wake it up."
And honestly, that's all it is. Look at Tyler Perry. Can't tell me you can't do it.
When I say like every morning when I have to work out, like I do like motivational videos on YouTube, and I love listening to him and Steve Harvey, but mostly Tyler Perry, because this man was homeless like the whole night. Like Steve Harvey was too, but it's just okay. Like the Tyler Perry studios in Atlanta, like he was like doing like an interview, and he was giving like the behind the scenes about it, and he was saying that all of that is built on top of Bibles. So I'm just like, on top of Bibles? I'm just like, who like you know what I'm saying? But everything that he's been doing it's just amazing, like how this man can go from here to here. But throughout his whole process, throughout his whole him being homeless and stuff like that, he was still able to trust God. And if he's able to trust God, then I'm not homeless. I have a car, like you know what I'm saying? So why is it so hard for me to trust God if this man did it and he was homeless and he had to look for his next meal, or he had to depend on God for his next meal, his next shower, or anything?
I want to answer that question so bad and humble a few folks.
I think
all in the same time. And I'm gonna say this: the reason why we won't have faith in God is because we're too human and we love to think seeing is believing and believing is seeing, when it's not. I just tried to grab air. I can't see it. I don't even know if I just touched it. Like, I keep saying, it's the smallest of stuff that keeps us from getting what we want and where we want to be. The smallest of stuff. And faith is just one of them things. It's really just that. Faith is just one of those things that stop us from getting everything. And I hate for it to be that way. And I know that it shouldn't be that way. But I also know that being human, we're flawed. And
Right.
that's okay. It's not like God just like, you know what? I don't know what I made. No. It's more so of a, like I said, it's just taking time to reevaluate so you can re-exert all of this new energy. Like once you become renewed, once you become whole, man, please, I would love to have been like the lady that touched the hem of his garment. Like, come on, man, you get cleansed like at an instant, you know. But you know how much life would, man. I could talk about that all day.
Listen,
But
I love the woman with the issue of the blood. I love her story
you
because,
got healed like that, man.
but
Come
not
on.
even heal like that, AJ. Like she didn't care. First of all, she didn't care who saw her. She didn't care how she had to throw them balls to get to Jesus. Like she
Look, he
did
picked
what
up wide. No,
yes, she did what she had to do to like get to him. And even like she didn't even like, oh my God, Jesus, and hug him. Like, no, it was just a simple touch
you
of
know
his
what's funny?
clothing.
Can I add on to that right there?
Go
But you see
ahead.
what you just said.
Mhm.
She had to get through the. She had to Delta step through that thing. You know what I'm saying? Get through there, throwing up her oops and everything to get through that line. She made a goal. She knew that if she even touched just the hem of his garment, something was going to
Exactly.
change. She had a goal. Her faith was, I'm going to get up there. I'm going to get up there and close enough to touch. That
Exactly.
was a goal. But guess what? She had what? Faith.
Yep. That's
Because
true.
she knew the moment that she knew that he was there, she was already fighting through everything and everybody, jumping over whatever hurdle, because her faith was just that strong that I know if I touch that clothes,
I'll be
something in
healed.
my life gonna change. And she
Yep.
wasn't just healed, she was made whole.
Yep.
That's a difference. Like that's a different type of feeling when you can be made whole. I personally don't know if I have. So that probably means no. But at the same time, I've had those feelings of what it can feel like.
Yeah, me too.
And I think everybody has experienced that one time in their life and didn't know it.
Hmm.
But shoot, where your faith at for you to get it? Like, of course, like my goals in life is to like, I always tell myself a day make somebody smile, make somebody laugh.
Yeah.
Just brighten somebody's day. Like I literally just not too long ago, a couple days ago, a friend of mine didn't even want to live no more. And I
Mhm.
had to remind them how important they are. Like how important they are not only to the people that's around them, but in my life and people that they don't even know they touched. I'm like, and I said, regardless of how you may feel, yeah, it's gonna hurt us more than what you think.
Right.
Like, so all that work that you had done, don't you feel like you can do a little bit more? There's always more room to improve. Like I learn from you every day.
Hmm.
You know, so me being a friend that I am, like I can't be a person to bypass someone saying that and not give them some type of hope and faith that, you know, like I'm meant to be here. You know, and that would that and the way that they explained themselves like the next day to me about, man, thank you, man. I was really like, you know, like you a blessing, man.
Hmm.
Like God really put like that's that faith right there. Like I
Hmm.
gave you a little bit of hope, and you turned around and went and had faith in God and prayed, and you know it's like, you know what, maybe I was learning it for, maybe that was God talking through him. Like you know, you don't know how God is using you,
Right.
and so that's why you have to have faith in something that you can't see, but you know you can feel.
Right. Because I've definitely had those moments with you, and I had to call you, and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. So that's why I said, it's guys, it's really important for you guys to have a support team around you. Like, get to know
Yeah.
that person, not for just bull crap. Like, get to actually know a person, what they stand for, what they going for. Like, get to know them like
Mm-hmm.
on a spiritual level. Like, me and AJ have been best friends for what, 6 years now?
6.5.
6.5. So throughout that whole time, we've got to know each other, personal, mentally, spiritually, like the whole nine. Like, we've hung around each other, like we felt you know, the connection with us, like as far as like the spiritual and even like the mental or whatever. So
Yeah, and we talk about it all the time.
and we talk about it daily. If we don't even talk daily, we already know that either one, somebody going through something, or two,
Hmm.
like either I've been busy or you've been busy writing songs or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But we always feel that connection. Like you'll call me, be like, you ain't call me. What happened? What's going on? What's wrong?
Yeah.
What happened?
Got
So
mental health check people, man.
yeah. So, but the reason why I said all that is because when people are in tune with you, like they can feel you going through something, and
Hmm.
it won't be no, oh well, you ain't tell me or I ain't see it. And that no, I don't have to say it. Like my silence alone should say, okay, something's wrong with Malika, or something's wrong with AJ, or something's wrong with whoever that we friends with or whatever. So, um, yeah, man, I tell people all the time, y'all better get y'all support team because listen, without y'all, and I'm very thankful that God put you in my life and my support team because after mom passed, it was just a lot for me to handle. Like you have
Yeah.
seen and heard phone calls.
Yeah.
Like when you done let me cry on the phone for like 2 hours.
2 hours, bro.
Yeah,
Hours.
yeah.
Got to. Some people just gotta learn how to sometimes like you said, having that support system, knowing that you can lean on, because lean on someone, especially when you always been a strong.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like like I love the saying, God give his hardest battle to a strong soul. God, come on.
I'll
I'm
be
like,
quick.
come on,
Yeah,
bro.
take it back.
I like I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, bro. Look, I know it's just God, but come
Yeah.
on, bro.
Look, be quick. Here you go. Take it back.
Here you
Yeah.
go. Take it back. Yeah,
Yeah.
take your baton back, bro. Like,
Okay.
give
Give
me a
me
day.
give me the silver one. I don't even want the gold one. Give me a silver one for right now.
I'll take third. I'll take bronze.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
Something
Golly.
like Jesus, but
But he keep giving us diamonds. So it's like, you gotta take what God give you, and you just gotta learn how to adapt and process it, and have faith that the reason that He gave it to you is because you're just that important. That He gave you this huge responsibility because you are destined to do something that's going to change. Not if it's not even the world, even if it's just a person.
mhm,
Imagine what a domino effect can do.
exactly.
So
So
like, yeah.
so that's why, like you said, like you try to make a person smile each and every day. And when I used to work at the
Hmm.
hospital, a lot of people used to be like, Malika, like just alone by you just smiling, like brighten up my day. And I didn't understand it until, after the whole thing with my mom and stuff. And I'm just like, yo, like I really be touching people's lives. So when God gave me this for Monday Lives or what, I'm just like, well, God, what am I talking about? Like people don't like me. Like what, like you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, what you want me to talk about? Like, I'm scared, like whatever. It's so funny because when people see me in public, like, I'm a people person, but
Hmm.
all this stuff here, like all this stuff make me scared and nervous to do. So imagine like when I get like a bigger audience, and I'm just like, so but thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm definitely gonna have you back soon because
Do
you
it.
talk about another topic that me and you already said that we want to talk about.
Oh Lord.
That one.
Who boy, I'm about to turn to some folks on that one. All I'm gonna say. Oh Lord, boy, don't get me started.
Look, I gotta shimmy with it.
So you rev up my engine on that one because it's gonna get a little bad.
Yes. Okay. So tell the
Okay.
people how they can reach you on social media.
You can all follow me. My name is basically the same thing on all my social media. That's AIJALONSINGZ. Ajalan Sings. You already know.
Yes.
And I mean, I ain't too hard to find. I'm outside.
I'm outside. We outside in these Atlanta streets.
I'm outside with just God. That's it. That's all I need. Just God.
Good save, good save, good save. So you guys again, Ajalan Sings, my best friend, one of my mentors. he really gets on my nerve, like I said earlier before he logged in, but he keeps it real. That's why I love him so much. And that's probably why I'm keeping him around. But yes, y'all, please follow him on all his social media platforms. I'm telling you guys, you won't be disappointed. This man know how to sing. Not only do he do R&B, but he does it all. And I love, love, love his music. It speaks so much about, you know, just things in life, his life, pain, like the whole nine. So thank you, AJ, for doing this with me.
No problem.
All right, y'all. Y'all know how to reach me on all my social medias. This is the Monday Live, and we hope to see you soon.